All right. Well, welcome tonight to Stafford and Michelle's launch of the X39 from LifeWave. We love these
We do.
moments for friends and new friends that we're making all around the world just to really formally and officially create a launch video. So all the stories already unfolding for what's happening from people patching, which we'll hear about soon. We actually get to capture some of that in a launch video, really, because this is very, very legitimately an incredible part of people's worlds now, sometimes their business portfolio, but really more than anything, just the passion to patch and share this technology with the world is what is exciting all of us. So my name's Vanessa.
My name's Andrew.
And we're going to hand this part of the launch video over to Stafford and Michelle as they just talk about their passion for the X39, what it's doing in their world. And then we're going to present some of the technology just so you understand it. Hear some amazing stories, and then just let you know how easy it is to really make a purchase of this product for you and your loved ones. So over to you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I should probably start off with how we became involved with this, and it was for health concerns that I had. We had done last year a very big move where Stafford and I now have a home where we have my father and his parents that now live with us in that. But during that move, it was a very large move. And after the move, I really realized that my health was not good. I was having a very difficult time recovering from it. I felt very lethargic, and I just knew something wasn't right. That's what I felt. I just felt unwell. And I had been in contact with Vanessa for other things, but some of it was health related, and I knew that she was looking into some things for her health related um, like supplements and things like that for her health and wellness as well too. So I wanted to go to the source and find out. And that was when she was telling me about LifeWave, that there were these light therapy patches that had no drugs or chemicals in them, but they were there to regenerate your own stem cells. And I was very curious about that. But as she started to send me some information about it and some videos of people that were actually talking about things that had changed in their physical bodies, I was very encouraged by that. A lot of it was energy and things they were talking about. There was other healings people were getting from, surgeries to different, like they had knee pain or back injuries or I mean, common things like, just even a twisted ankle versus some people that were still recovering from a very serious operation and how quickly that they recovered from that. So I was very, very intrigued by it. And so I decided I wanted to definitely try that. And once we did start the X39, for myself, I began probably within a week. Um, yeah, 4 to 5 days, started the energy level. I slept so well. My energy was returning, like I was not hitting my 3 o'clock wall. I definitely felt I had the brain fog was going, and it just really, really energized by that. And then later on, after a few more weeks, I have definitely have had issues with two herniated discs that I've had for years and years due to a car accident a long, long time ago. And all of a sudden, I was not feeling the intense inflammation and pain that I had there because I was still seeing chiropractor. And it started to go away. And then my acid reflux, which I've dealt with forever and ever, was also starting to subside. So there was certain things that were definitely, I was starting to see a change in. And so Stafford was starting on it as well too. And his issues were a little different than mine. So I don't know, did you want
Sure.
to share what
Well,
yours?
yeah. My progression along this journey is not as multifaceted as my wife. She had more things that were happening in a shorter span of time. For me, what I noticed was energy levels because back then when we started, I think it was January, February of this year, we started to see changes happening, but between ourselves at different rates. I've just come off, we're now in August, so that's 8 months. So I've just come off a 6 month fitness regimen that actually just ended today. So I moved from a totally sedentary lifestyle because I work from my desk. I work from home, and from a totally sedentary lifestyle to one where I was waking up 5 o'clock every morning, doing intensive sport fitness training at a gym that you could not have convinced me I would have had the energy to do before. And I did that several times a week. So that to me has been the most prevalent proof of what has happened to me with regards to having started using this particular pack. So for me, it's been energy levels. And I do sense the changes that have taken place, and they've been totally beneficial. And it's given me the impetus and the motivation to, continue, ensuring that I keep myself, as you get older, things take longer to heal. So you try and do your best to maintain as healthy a lifestyle as possible. So that was like a catalyst and a kickstart for me, and that certainly helped me, and it's still helping me. I'm still using it every day. So
Yeah, yeah. And I just want to share a little bit about my family. My daughter Naomi has suffered for quite a few years with digestive issues and IBS, and yeah, just really, really difficult. Where yeah, we were very concerned actually about her. She was seeing a naturopath and trying, and it would start and then it would subside, and then she'd get some relief from it from some of the supplements she was taking, and then it would start up again. And she lost a lot of weight where she couldn't afford to lose a lot of weight. I was definitely very concerned, especially over the last 18 months. And so I asked her to start on this last January, and she did. And within about 4 to 6 weeks, she could not believe the difference, in the sense that she was eating things, her IBS had settled down. Within 8 weeks, 9 weeks, she's starting to cheat and eat pizza and things like that. Like, she could not eat any of these things. Like, I was in tears when I would see, because knowing how she was and how long that she was, like, she could have no wheat, no dairy, no sugar in any of her foods for like at least a year and a half. And it would still only go up and down, and it would still really be bad. And now she's pretty much eating whatever, within reason, whatever she wants. But but she's finding that it is with the X39 and the Eon, which is for inflammation and stuff. It's a lifestyle change for her now. Like, she's been given freedom back to enjoy bread again. Yay, and all that. So that was a huge convincer for me. And then obviously we've shared it with the rest of our family, and some of them are on here. And knowing that there has been, and Jim and all that, that there has been definitely changes in their body and health wise, how they're feeling. They're just feeling a sense of wellness. My father is 91, and I've had him on the patch since January as well, and his mobility is phenomenal. And he's much more alert. He's definitely energetic. He's sleeping so much better and everything else. And we've just had an incredible report with regards to his glaucoma from his eye doctor, that has said that something that they never thought would improve at all, that he would lose the sight, is actually starting to improve. And they're amazed by that. And so, yeah, so I mean, I could go on, but I'll I'll let Vanessa and Andrew take over from here.
Well,
Amazing.
amazing. Okay, so we're all from Commonwealth countries. Okay, so Australia, Canada, we've got a good growing team in the UK. We listen to these stories and we always say it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
Anyone can repeat that right now in your brain, like, it's sounding way too good.
We're a
to be
little
true.
bit cynical in the Commonwealth countries. That gives us a great humor. At the same time, it makes us a little bit more wary about things.
Yeah.
So we love storytelling, but we also want to really talk about a little bit about the history of LifeWave, how this technology first started, because what we also love, just as we really get into this launch, is Stafford's story is so unique to Michelle's story.
Yeah.
We're going to reference a few what we call one patch wonders, like one day and the patch has done this. But honestly, this is regenerative technology. This is a regeneration and a reactivation of your body's ability to produce new stem cells. And that can be much more than just an overnight kind of,
That's right.
feeling.
Yes.
So we are going to show you a bit about it. And then we're also going to, at the end, we'll be stopping the recording towards the very end, obviously, and then just open the room for some questions as well. So I'm going to just share my screen right now and just give us a, I'm going to present it in a presentation. Then just give us a thumbs up if you can see this.
Perfect. So the question that we ask everybody is, have you been patched? And that was the question I was asked 7-8 months ago from my best friend of 25 years. And I was like, what do you mean? And so he went through this with us. And you know, the greatest currency on earth is the currency of trust. And so I was cynical a little bit at first, going, okay, it looks like a Band-Aid. Mine's on my back. I'm not sure where yours is.
Yeah.
But it's a little round patch and looks like a Band-Aid. And so we were like, okay, what does this actually do? And he talked about his increased energy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm about to go and see him on Sunday. His hair, I mean, I've been friends for 25 years. He's 10 years older than me. His hair has been thinning over the last 30 years. It's getting thicker again. His color, his blonde is coming back again. It's different for every single person, but because he said, Andrew, you guys are in the health and wellness industry. You love to help people. This is something you just need to do. We jumped all in, and it's one of the best decisions we've ever made because of what it's doing for us personally, for our children, but now over 700 people that we've helped now in this journey to get their freedom back in their health. And then for a whole bunch of others that share and want to have a side income as well, helping in their finances as well. So we ask people, have you been patched? And then we're excited to share that technology.
This is literally what the patch looks like. If you can see that, it's just comes. It literally looks like a Band-Aid. In fact,
what's on her shoulder right now looks like a Band-Aid.
So we are just going to share about LifeWave itself and the inventor. And this is a pretty phenomenal story about David Schmidt.
So David Schmidt is a CEO. He's an Irish-American inventor of X39. So what's unique about this is he's the CEO and he's the inventor. Many times there's an inventor who gets a CEO to fly in and start these companies, or opposite. He's both, which is incredible. And especially with this latest patented technology with stem cells, the X39, he has control and vision for the future over this. He has 130 patents. So this is not a small company. It's not a guy with a small idea. He has got this technology patented on many different levels. He's a scientist and an inventor, and he specializes in age reversing. Give me a wave up if you'd like a little bit of age reversing. I'm hitting 50 next year, and for me, I still think like I'm 25. So why don't I try to at least, look a little bit like that if I can without trying too hard. And so in 2008, David focused his attention on stem cell research. As we know, all of that is blowing up at the moment, and took 10 years. So this wasn't just a quick fly by night, turn it around and get it off to market. 10 years and $4.5 million to bring this to market.
In fact, the very first patch he ever patented was 20 years ago. That's what they're celebrating this year. It was called an energy enhancer patch. He was actually seconded by the US military with their research and development funding to help Navy SEALs stay awake in their submarines for 6 months. They're not seeing natural light for that long. So they were, stimulating themselves with all the various things. And so he came up with this technology that would actually give their body natural energy just by reflecting their own body's heat and light back into their system to elevate some of those energy sources in their own bodies. War broke out, funding turned obviously to weapons and defense. And so he was able to take that patent, which is literally where the LifeWave, the patch patent came from. And he said, well, I'm going to now test it on elite athletes and Olympic athletes. That year is the year that Michael Phelps won the swimming, which for Australia was a shock. Unfortunately, it was a shock to everyone. And so we, at that point, when he started to see the success, the personal best happening, you know, they were drug tested again and again because people were saying you can't have leveled up that much in terms of an Olympic, you know, records that they were breaking. And it turned out they were wearing LifeWave's energy enhancer patches. In fact, fast forward 20 years, and this Olympics, many tennis players, the soccer team, the gymnasts, they were all wearing patches as well from LifeWaves. So then he started to move it into the public much more. Those early patches and his inventions were in the hands of practitioners until the X39 came along and he said, this can go anywhere on your body and it's for everyone, young and old, to start patching with.
So it's this patented technology. What it does is a result of elevating copper peptides, including an activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, and elevation of antioxidants. So basically, what it does is it gets your copper peptides going, that then creates new stem cells, flushes the old ones out, and gets them going to the parts of your body that need it the most.
A patent's a really big deal because it basically says what we're saying it does. We've proved that it does do that. So governments all over the world look for this patent, and also as a business to have something patent that no one else can actually reproduce at this standard is extraordinary. And it's got 17 more years left on this patent, which means it's this word of mouth getting it out to millions around the world right now. And it is like that fast happening.
So why X39 stem cell activation patch? The fewer stem cells you have, and I'm sorry for this information, the faster you age and the slower you heal. We're not told about these things. And so that's why at certain age points, we start to see we're not healing as fast. We're aging a lot faster, and a lot of other things that, like weight and other things that used to go a lot faster, are taking a lot more time. Hundreds of millions of people are experiencing symptoms of aging. And so I never knew at the age of 30 that half of your stem cells stop being activated at 30, when we feel like we're just getting started. And at age 60, you almost lose all of your stem cells. And that's why we start to see around those that age, starting to see the people aging faster, people healing slower, and seeing some of those challenges, health challenges, come into play.
So what stem cells become in your body, again, very popular right now, is what we call stem cell therapy. You'll see it all over Facebook, all over. Doctors will be recommending it, but it's expensive and it's not always necessarily successful, because as these stem cells, and often there's some ethical challenges around where they've come from, as they're injected into your body, they're still over a few months going to degenerate. So literally here, friends of ours that have been patching for a while said they spent that $30,000, $7,000, $9,000, $30,000, $60,000 on stem cell therapy. Within 6 months, the pain in their shoulders or hips or whatever it was had returned, because our stem cells are still degenerating constantly. So this particular patch will help your own body, so not someone else's, your own body's stem cells begin to regenerate and go, this is the key, where your body knows they need them. So you'll patch, and in your body will say, okay, my heart needs these, my lung needs these, my brain needs these, my gut needs these. And wherever your body knows they need them, they become that particular lung cell, heart cell, or the rest. But as Andrew said earlier, the big key is it's actually releasing the old cells out of your body. That is really important. Otherwise, your body's trying to use these old and dying cells, and we know what happens at that point around certain cancers and how they form. So this is a game changer for people's long-term preventative well-being.
So how does it work? Great question. It's a proprietary form of phototherapy. It's a patented nanocrystal technology. So there's salts and crystals in here, in this patch. Because what happens is it reflects light to activate. Now, when we say that, you don't need to go outside, especially for you Canadians, where 6 or so months of the year, you've got light, but it's freezing cold outside. You can't go tan while you're out there and almost like power up. It's using your own light and heat of your body, and it's using that to then transfer into the copper peptides that stimulate the stem cell activation. And so just like we have those, goggles, I always forget the name, at nighttime goggles, and you can see the heat infrared, and you can see the heat and light of somebody, of anything that's alive. It has heat, it has light. That's what it's using, your own heat. This is not someone else's stem cells. This is not someone else's, anything. It's yours. And the great thing is, what we find is one of the most amazing parts of this technology is it's non-transdermal,
Yeah.
which means there's nothing going into your bloodstream. There's nothing actually going into your body except your heat and light. So there's no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants, and it's non-invasive. So there is nothing like that going into your body.
So in terms of contraindications, people will say, well, these supplements impact this medication and this does this. And so these days, when it comes to the X39, unless you are currently on chemotherapy that day, because obviously chemo is trying to kill all the cells, not just even the good new cells, is, chemo is going to kill that. If you have an anti-rejection drug you're taking because you've had an organ transplant, well, it's going to contraindicate that. It hasn't been tested on pregnant women or breastfeeding women. Obviously, there's so much stem cell activity going in from that newborn baby. Other than that, there is nothing else it will contraindicate. In fact, we get to say to customers all over the world, the only thing we say is in a few months' time, go and check in with your doctor, because the medication you are on, you may need less of because your body's beginning to reset.
And as soon as you've finished that chemotherapy, you could put a patch on straight away, so that you could start activating your stem cells again of everything that's been nuked by the the medication.
So this is taking the integrative health practices and practitioners all over the world, as well as people, by storm, and really an exciting opportunity for them. So the kind of benefits of the X39, and these are the ones that tested, we can absolutely make claims on. Every other testimony we tell is a personal testimony. We are not intending to diagnose, treat, or be at any point someone's doctor around this.
We are not medical professionals.
We are not at all, but we are going to tell you what we know scientifically the data says around these benefits. So there's increased strength, even that's before what Stafford was referring to. There's energy and vitality, there's increased stamina, even throughout the day, where the energy kind of balances instead of those dips. That's a very common impact on people's bodies. There's mental clarity, there's reduced inflammation. This inflammation is the core of all disease in our body, and dis-ease. And so when that goes down and there's a support patch that really kind of powers up that impact quicker, that is, again, a game changer for you and your well-being. There's restored muscle and skeletal conditions. We're talking about regenerating cartilage, bone-on-bone issues. There's amazing impact there. Improvement of sleep. Now, what's happening for people is they're dreaming in ways they haven't dreamt in years, but we know what that means is they're in a deep REM sleep. And we also know our bodies heal so well in that deep sleep. And then, of course, you do the daytime so well as well. So improved skin appearance. We'll talk about collagen in a minute, but really this is helping people mentally, physically, which then goes on and helps people emotionally, the regulation that we're noticing around responsiveness, and socially. It changes people's lives when you are moving out of a fight or flight or a chronic state of any kind of health challenge.
So what are the long-term results? And these are the studies that it's shown that in the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. To me, that's amazing. Within 6 weeks, brain becomes balanced. Vanessa was very grateful for that when it came to my brain being balanced. And I felt that, definitely. I'm sleeping like I've never slept before. Like I'm sleeping through the night. I'm dreaming. I had a sleep apnea machine for 1.5 years. I'm now 6 months off my sleep apnea machine. No more looking like Darth Vader in the middle of the night. And who knows, that's not great for marriage and intimacy. So last 6 months, I've been off that. And the COVID like fog and the other just age and everything fog over my brain has cleared. My ADHD is becoming more, what's the word?
You're
balanced,
so much more
productive, balanced. My central nervous system, especially working with the Aeon patch, which we call the night patch, that supports the X39, has really helped me with the anxiety and a whole bunch of other areas. And so that's within 6 weeks. Then within 3 months, your collagen has increased. Now, give me a high five if you like the idea of collagen. It's great for the face and everything else. But collagen is actually around your key vital organs. And so it increases and protects, and it's such a vital part of our bodies. And then within 6 months, heart reverses in age. And they've shown studies at an average of 8 years. So David Schmidt, the inventor and CEO, says it's not anti-aging, it's age reversing. I love that.
So before we get into a few more testimonies and hand back to Michelle and Stafford for a few minutes, we wanted to show a brain scan of a 77-year-old woman who participated in this study. Week 1, this was her brain. So all the inflammation in her brain is there. We know what inflammation in brain is doing to people young and old, from all the, again, without making claims, but all the challenges on the spectrum and the learning disorders young, and then also for the elderly around their cognitive and their memories and Parkinson's and dementia. Excuse me, we're seeing really, really wonderful changes and shifts even around how bodies and brains are responding. Session 2, look at that, less inflammation. Session 3, excuse me, no inflammation whatsoever. So what's happening here is stem cells, when they wake up, will go very quickly to the brain and the gut as those two places where really is our central response system.
So how to wear the X39. It's super easy. This is not about, complicated and which pill you have first and what second. It's just you wear your patch. So you put it, as the diagram, the illustration shows, on the back of your neck or underneath your belly button. But actually, you could wear it anywhere you want to. And we encourage people, if you have pain at the moment, put it straight on the pain, because we've seen incredible results. Put it on for 12 hours, up to 12 hours. I mean, you could actually go 14 if you really want to. Now, sometimes for me, if it's giving me too much energy that day, I'll just take it off earlier so that my body can begin to unwind. But it's only 12 hours to 14 hours because your body needs time to repair, to rest, and rejuvenate. You don't want this going 24/7. And then you throw it away. It's as easy as that. And then you put on a new patch in the morning. We encourage people to put it somewhere, where they clean their teeth or something so they don't forget. And it's waterproof. So many times it's starting to get warmer here now, although winter for us is, 18 degrees Celsius is, I shouldn't say that, but I've lived there so I can get away with it, is, I'll put it on before I go to the beach. It's waterproof, come back, have a shower, no problem. It's fine. And then you can wear more than one at a time if you need to. If you feel like, hey, I want it on the back of my neck because that's where I always wear it, and then I have pain in my back today, you can do that if you need to. But we encourage people to drink plenty of water, because you're flushing all the toxins and the old stem cells out of your body so the new stem cells can get going. So drinking lots of water with some Celtic salt to be able to activate that is a very wise thing.
So we're going to tell a few stories right now. And just before we do that, we wanted to show you genuine messages we're getting from people. Again, not to make claims because their bodies are responding so uniquely, but this is good news stories daily for us, from blood pressure to infections to cerebral palsy to seizures to pain, and some really very, very serious diseases in people's bodies. So it's real, it's true. We're going to show you where you can access these testimonies. A lot of them that have to be online are very compliant, so they're not making claims they're not allowed to do. This is our friend out of Liverpool, UK. So again, the British are even more like cautious of whether this technology is real or not. But this is our friend. So she patched, and after 6 weeks, trauma and loss in her body was really impacting her hair growth, which for a woman and a man can be, a challenge. And so it's come back after 6 weeks. It's come back a beautiful darker color. And even now I need an updated photo. It's even darker and just thick and healthy. And we know hair just represents what's going on the inside of people's bodies. So you personally can get into later. This is it, info/testimonies. Amazing testimonies are there. You can click on all those links. You can see children's, you can see brain, you can see all the things.
These are real people in real
These
lives.
are real people. And so we're going to story tell just a few more minutes now around this. And we want to say one more time, what we love about this is when this gets on your body will do what it's meant to do. But we tell stories because it will bring hope. And also because you need to understand that you're not going to wait for your own story to share this, because what your body's going to do is unique to someone else. So we, as soon as we literally heard about this, we were telling people, even without patching, because we knew people needed hope right now when it came to their health. So Stafford and Michelle, do you want to just tell a few more stories of what's been going on with some of the people you've been patching?
We have, yeah, there's friends of ours that are definitely going through the difficulties wanting to conceive a child. And they have been patching, and for I think only about 4 or 5 months and things like that. So they're very, very encouraged. He had a very yes, he had a diagnosis that he had a lot of inflammation around here, and he was actually taken off work for about 6 weeks. He's a police officer, and he just was not, yeah, you can't do that at the job and so forth. And he started with the Eon and the X39, and within 4 weeks, there was a huge, significant change of that inflammation, because they really didn't even know how to treat that for him. My son had that as well. And I remember when he had it, it lasted about a year, and all the doctors would tell him is just to take Advil. And when a wave of that incredible exhaustion would come, he was incapacitated. Like, he just had to sit down and rest. He couldn't even move, or he'd have to lie down. And we didn't know about, LifeWave or X39 way back then, but when I knew that our friend had the same diagnosis, I knew what to expect, and I knew how long it lasted with Ethan. And it was very scary as well too. But now, like, within 5 weeks, like, he is absolutely feeling much more energized, and he's gone back to the doctors, and they're going, it's all gone now. So he's back at work, and that's been really, really good. I think one of the things that I know you've said in the presentation, but one of the things that really, really attracted me to this was that there was no drugs or chemicals in these whatsoever. It was all very, very natural. And for me, I think with the sensitivities and stuff that I've had from even supplements over the years and things, that to me was probably something that I was very much interested in. And then obviously to see the results that I've had so quickly, and to know that it is my own, stem cells, even with sleep, of not being able to sleep, through the whole night, knowing that, it is activating my own, even melatonin in my own body. And it's not, because I would be very sensitive to taking a supplement of melatonin. I would just feel I would sleep, but it wouldn't be a really great sleep. And this has changed for me. So for me, this is, life-changing that way, for sure.
Yeah, there have been other things too that, I mean, Andrew had alluded to it before. Yeah, being the Commonwealth, whether it's Australia, England, or Canada, we tend to be more skeptical when it comes to these things, especially compared to Americans. So one of the validating things that stood out for me is when I started to see professionals, certified medical or therapeutic professionals, who actually have looked at this and started applying it in their practice. And we have a friend that we just met who's actually just outside of Montreal, and I think he's a therapist.
He's an
osteotherapist. Anyway, he has used this, and he should be here to give his own testimony, because he's thrilled with how it's affecting and helping his patients. So when you look at the medical staff or medical industry, and for those, you're taught a certain way as to how things are supposed to be, or how things are supposed to be treated. And if you look at it from a holistic point of view, that sometimes people from that side of the spectrum look down on what's holistic or what's natural. So anything that does self-healing or self-regeneration without the use of drugs or anything external that's going to be giving anything traumatic to your body, it's always encouraging to see when people who are skeptical, with a healthy skepticism is not a bad thing.
No.
So if you take that skepticism and says, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'll take a look and see what this thing is really all about. And then when they start seeing the results taking place for their individual patients who they care for, because they certainly don't want to give something to their patients to make things more detrimental. So that friend of ours has given me, I guess, more confidence in saying, okay, I can actually advocate for this, not based upon just what I've experienced, but what others have experienced who also care for people. And the underlying thrust of what Michelle and I are doing here is because we actually are caring for people's welfare and health. And that may sound trite, but it's the truth. That's basically the motivating factor behind all of this.
Yeah.
And that's because you have earned, as Andrew Vanessa said, it's a trust factor. It's almost like an honor system. If someone introduces this to you, do they have the credibility, the street cred, the integrity? Do you know them well enough to like, okay, are you pulling a fast one on me? Is this thing really real? So they can attest to it. I figured I have to try it before I can tell people about this, because the proof is in the pudding. You have to show me how it works first. And if it works for me, and as they alluded to, it's going to work differently for different people. People are not going to get the same results because everyone's bodies are different. So between the medical field and my own experience with this thing, it's more than testified for itself. And we just want to share it with people who need it, who need help in their own bodies.
We you know, you early days, it was relationship that allowed us to reach out. Obviously, Michelle, just friendship, relationship, other work we were doing together. And we knew your love for people. That was it. And we knew what was going on, that there were some health challenges for you too. So I agree, Stafford, it's a trust currency. What's really fascinating is once it's a trust currency, is also then the technology on someone's body becomes trustworthy. Stafford's referring to actually who was our personal osteopath for 7 years, but he's very, very well known. Actually, if you dig into these integrative practitioners globally, but in Canada, he traveled the world with the Canadian soccer team.
Yeah.
So he was one of our first calls because I wanted to know, Gary, what do you think of light frequency technology? What do you know about it? What do you think about it? As soon as he read some articles before I even got the patch, he said, Vanessa, we have been longing for this to be this simple and accessible to everyday people for a long time as practitioners. We understand how it works. But this really helped us too. So, and I love that he's Canadian because it's really giving it credibility over there too. So
Absolutely.
amazing. So he does not do this, like he doesn't put his name lightly to anything either. So
Totally.
yeah. So we so this is your launch, and to hear your why for the product is amazing. We do want to just shift gears because we want to show you like how cost effective it is. David Schmidt literally invented this technology by collaborating with other people. And when you actually get to know him and you talk integrity top down in this company, it's all there as a company and as even an inventor. He chose to do it via direct selling because when you outsource, and people were offering him millions of dollars for this patent, he said it's going to go faster and quicker to the 1 billion homes that I have a vision for this technology to be in, person to person, direct selling. So a lot of us have icky feelings around direct selling or the word MLM, and rightfully so, because often you're being called up and it's a surprise and you're not necessarily offered something that's necessarily of benefit, although often it can be. We like the model, but it is about the person.
Yeah.
He chose direct selling on purpose because he said, I don't want anyone around the world to say, I can't afford this. So if we can create a structure where by sharing with four people, we as a company can give them like referral money for that, then no one has to say they can't afford it. As it stands, it's about the cup of a takeaway coffee a day to be patching. But even that in this current economy can feel like a challenge for some people till they realize what they'll save money on. We're just going to show you how you can access this, and it'll be via Stafford and Michelle, obviously, as they're brand partners now, which means that they get to give you their wholesale price. but we're going to show you how to access it and just a small amount around how this can turn into something where there can be financial flow back for you as well. So we'll just share one
For
more
those
time.
that are interested in that.
Yeah.
Other than that, there will be people that just need to get their healing and
Yeah.
get their health back.
Yeah.
And we're there to support that. And others who are like, hey, I'd love to have this paid for by sharing it. And trust me, once you start getting your own testimony and seeing people around you get their testimonies, you can't help yourself but share it. And then for those who say, oh, I would love to have another stream of income, and we're people that really encourage people to have multiple streams of income, because you just never know what's going to happen with those different your job and other things. And so, or it could just be a holiday every year. So here's the three different options that we present with this. Is number one is the silver, so silver, gold, and diamond. Silver is $299.95, and that's 3 sleeves. If you could just pass that over.
Sure.
Which is one sleeve is 1 month each. These are 3 sleeves of the X39. Now, the X39 is what I call the superstar patch. It's the David Beckham patch. It's this is the one that does all the heavy lifting. It's the stem cell regeneration technology, and any other patches which, you know, these guys will share with you as you're interested are really there to support that. So they don't have the stem cell technology activation as part of them. They have a different protocol and benefits with each patch. So you'll get 3 of these, which gives you 3 months worth of the X39. And really that's for a single person that's like, I just want to get my health back. And at a silver level, if you share with 4 people and they share with 4 people, then every month as people share, you'll be able to receive up to $100 per week, which then pays for your product.
Exactly.
So, and that's a one-off fee. All of these are one-off fees at $299 plus tax. And then you've got the gold package, which is $499.95, and that's with 5 of these X39s and 1 support patch. And again, we'll talk to you about that as you order. And so with this one really is for a family, for a couple, and for someone who would like to start potentially as they share it. We're starting to receive income coming through with this. And it's pretty amazing when all of a sudden 50 comes in US, 100 US comes in, and so on. And it's all in US dollars because this is in now over 108 countries. So it's just makes things easier for the company. And you also get paid in US dollars, which is exciting. So that's great for a family. And then the diamond pack is really for either a large family, and many people buy this because instead of $99.95 per sleeve at the silver and gold level, at the diamond level, you're receiving this for $84.95 per sleeve. You get 19 of these. Again, you can have other patches, support patches that we could talk to you about as part of that, but it's really to get it out there, share with your family, to be able to share with friends. And these are for people like us who jumped in, and Michelle and Stafford, that went, hey, we want to build this as well. We can see, we've always been in the people industry, helping people. We've seen the benefits of what this does for people. So we've just got this out to as many people as we can. And so that was the best bang for buck for us, and to share it and to start this as another income for us. And so with that, here's what the great bonus with that one is for the next 3 months when you sign up with Diamond, you are ranked at what we call the senior director level, which means every time you onboard another diamond, you receive 500 US back. So we work really with all of our diamonds to try within the first 2 to 4 weeks as they share this with others, and especially within the 3 months, to be able to see 3 other diamonds become brand partners. That means their initial investment is paid for. They've got a whole bunch of product and they're sharing it with a whole bunch of people. And so we've seen that successful time and time again. And so they're the 3 different options. So at the end of the day, for me, I'm off my sleep apnea machine. My anxiety and ADHD and everything is beginning to recalibrate. My brain fog's gone. My energy, I'm seeing, so I'm 50 next year. I'm seeing a lot of my friends in their 50s and 60s starting to slump when it comes to energy, when, to be honest, they need more energy than ever. Others that are going into semi-retirement or retirement, not being able to enjoy it because they don't have the energy for it. And so for me, seeing the energy just for that, I would be, for the price of a flat white, which is of course Australian origins, for the price of a flat white every day, to have those benefits plus I have a blood condition, which is high blood platelet levels. I won't go into it too much, but it's starting to come down, which is pretty unprecedented.
Yeah.
I'll be following that over the next 6-12 months and get a proper report when we break some levels of barriers. They're all the bonuses for me. So we're not sure what it is for you and what benefits you need, but we just see this as a incredible gift.
We haven't even shared just what it's done for the mental health of our daughter who had 3 major concussions. God bless Canadian ice and the slipping that she did with some
Twice.
serious brain injuries that she wasn't the same after that. Well, on the X39, there's just been a balancing, a resilience that's come, impacts
like we're getting our daughter
from,
back.
pandemic and all the different things. There's been like menstrual cycles in the girls just so healthy now, menopausal symptoms, like just it literally is young and old.
Yeah.
And so it became early days, oh wow, this is an amazing wellness technology and business to add to our portfolio. Now it's gone way beyond that. This is like, we cannot help but tell anyone we meet that you may experience hope if you put this patch on. And so it has 6-8 months in without again making income claims while we were reinventing our life, starting from scratch after being 9 years away as missionaries overseas, coming back to honor our parents. This has literally become a full-time income for just to help in this reset season for us. And we know people have as much concern around their financial well-being as they do around their physical and mental well-being. So we get as excited and as passionate about that for people. You won't feel the icky pressure around that, but there is weekly commissions that get paid out. There's none of these like kind of monthly pushes and striving and any of that. It's just a unbelievable, like-minded, like-spirited community of people that become brand partners and say, we just want to share in our own way. And we see that the integrity of that in a Stafford and Michelle, they do not just do this lightly, but they love people. And so now and they have big vision for their life. So we're going to just leave them to wrap it up. What we'd love to just ask you is just one more time, like maybe explain to people that love you and are going to hear this later, your why for even stepping in as brand partners, because I think that again just really builds the integrity around why all over the world people are choosing to share this with their loved ones.
You want to share our why?
Yeah, I'd love you to just share your why for, you've done it around the health, but just really for you, why you did step into launching more officially as a business in this area.
Well, there's a few reasons. Being number one, too, I being now a caregiver for my father and somewhat my in-laws, although they're still very, very independent, I had to quit my job that I had as a floral designer. I mean, I still do little bits here on the side and stuff like that, but I quit the shop and everything else because there's just no way. And I still wanted, though, to make, a difference. I didn't realize that when I was looking on the journey of my health, that actually what came across my path was an option as well to make a change and to share this with other people as well too. And yes, I love people. I mean, it's just in our DNA as to just who we are, and to be able to find something that has created such an impact in my own life and in my family, not just myself and my children, but my sister and my brother-in-law and my niece. And I mean, it just goes on. And I'm recognizing that this is making a change, like a significant change in people's lives. And I'm like, okay, so this is something that, we've put our minds to, and we're going to definitely support and help people this way. But then it became the understanding that there could be some financial freedom in this for us as well too. And to see how the company and how generous they are and how much that there's no pressure on this, like that kind of, we've been involved in MLMs before that we did not have a good taste about, but this was something that as it came about and as it continued to go on, that it really started to make a difference. And I was taking notice of that. I was listening to other people. Yes, we are skeptic this one more than me, but yes, you know, and we, but we definitely, we talked it out, we researched it out and really realized that this could help us in our future. I do not want to see him sitting behind a desk for the next 10, 15 years. We're looking at retirement. I want to travel. I want to be able to leave. We want to be able to leave a legacy for our children, all of those kinds of things. And being able to do this with such ease in all of this. Yes, you're there to support people and everything else, but that to us is a no-brainer. You know, we have great, amazing support in Vanessa and Andrew. I have to tell everybody there. I mean, they are just an incredible couple that have become very, very dear friends, but there's something about the genuineness and just, you know, that you're investing in someone else's life that way, for not just because if it's a monetary thing, it's actually health. It's going to help you. And so that's was definitely a part of our yes. And yes, the future and everything else and working towards that is a part of it. But the results have refortified and reignited my passion about all of this. That this isn't just a product. This is actually life-changing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As an addendum and a reiteration of what Michelle just said about legacy, normally when someone bandies about that word, it's usually something that happens after the fact. My take on it has been more, I'm not sure if this is a coined term. I'm looking at it more as a living legacy. Yes, I'd like to leave something for my family and, you know, my kids and my grandkids and stuff like that. Any, you know, loving parent would love to do that. But if we do have the freedom to have a living legacy wherein you can interact with your loved ones now, with the freedom with which you have, and with the capacity and the ability that this will afford you, then to me, I think that has more, I would say, a more lasting impact, but that's just my opinion. So yes, a good legacy that way, but I like to call it a living legacy because, you know, as much as I'd like to have, you know, as much blessing from my loved ones after I'm gone, I want to enjoy them too while I'm here. So that's basically why I call it a living legacy. So that's one of the thrust levels of what we're looked at with, yes, financial freedom is one thing, but interaction with loved ones and friends and people and reaching out to them is the underlying, you know, impetus as to why this is taking place. And that's just how we think. I mean, it may be contrary to how society views things, but that's how we look at it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Agreed.
It's incredible. Thank you for sharing your why. This is your launch video. You'll be sharing it beyond this recording, although amazing people are on to support you today and to be curious. So as we wrap up the video and you watch this now or later, we'll stay on for some questions now. But if you just circle back, if you get this shared with you, circle back with Stafford and Michelle so that they can just see what best wholesale price will suit you and your loved ones. And then if you are curious about becoming the brand partner that actually wants to move this towards sharing, whether it's for the small amount weekly or a large legacy as we are starting to experience, then we can really just dive into that with you. But it's very simple. You just get patching and sharing, and the company says thank you. That can look like a lot, or that can look like just something that you need. And you tell us what you desire to create, what little bit of time you have. Let the patch do the work. Let these videos do the work. And we've got an information website called thisisitinfo.com. That's literally what we share out with the world, and a video like this.
That's
so
right.
we'd be excited to connect with any of you who want to ask more questions later, particularly around it as a business. These guys are so competent around really just the sharing. Canada is wide open. It's amazing what's happening in these few years with LifeWave in
Just
your
getting
country.
started.
It's just getting started. You're about to get approved 2 other game-changing patches to come into Canada, which is a really big deal. The heart of David Schmidt, the inventor, and the whole team at LifeWave is that you would find freedom and sovereignty in your health and in your wealth. And if we can partner with you in any way for that to happen, then it would be an honor and a privilege. If you say any particular challenge, will it help this? Will it help that? We're going to say, just get patching and see how your body responds. So to Stafford and Michelle, thank you for being dear friends. Thank you for being integrous people, leaders in your community.
Absolutely.
Thank you for loving people so well. And we are just believing for a really special favor so the people who have the trust with you will continue to then in their world also just use that trust as what we call leverage for something where people might naturally go, what is this? No one else in the world has it. And that's our mission, is to get it out to as many people as possible. So we bless you, and we're believing for really amazing
Yeah.
days ahead.
We're
So,
looking forward to hearing your stories and
yes.
your testimonies of what happens and the people around you. And if I can just finish with this, you may be there going, I don't need any of this. You know, maybe you're at full capacity of health and everything's brilliant and amazing. We ask you, can we ask you, could you help us and get this to other people?
Yeah.
Because we're seeing so many incredible results and people getting their life and freedom back. Can we ask you to share this with somebody else? And of course, you first, like in a plane, you put your oxygen mask on first before anybody else, but everyone around you, we just want to get this out to as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bless you. Thanks for being on.